dreams. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Hello, good evening, and thank you for joining us on Atlantic Television Network, and the program is called Press Roundtable. It's a convergence of media practitioners who dissect news and current affairs to provide the right balance. So today on Press Roundtable, we will be discussing from Lagos State, NDLEA arrests 4 Hajj pilgrims with 2.2 kg cocaine in hotel. And coming from Zamfara State, bandit raid community kills 7 policemen, others. And from the National Assembly, Senate passes ranchers bill as Barrow rejects. Niger State, residents fleeing bandit attack drone. When we come back from this short break, I'm going to introduce our guests. Good evening and stay with us. We're glad to have you back on the show on Press Roundtable on Atlantic Television Network. My name is Angel, Mukoma, popularly called Angelic Angel. And with me on the program is Susan Ave. Susan, good to have you again.
It's good to be here.
All right. And I want to also introduce our guest this evening is a public affairs analyst, is comrade, thank God, Chimene Nyeche. Sir, good to have you again on the show.
Thank you, Her Excellency.
So how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great.
All right, you're looking good. You're absolutely looking good. All right, now let's go to the stories coming from Lagos. Men of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency intercepted a cocaine shipment at Emerald Hotel Ladipo Oshodi in Lagos State on Wednesday and arrested 4 suspects attempting to smuggle the drug to Saudi Arabia for their Hajj pilgrimage. This was made known in a statement by the agency's Director of Media and Advocacy, Femi Babafemi, shared on the agency's website on Thursday. Now, according to the statement, the suspect Usman Kamaruddin Ola Sukamini Owolabi 46, Fatai Yekini 38, and Ayinla Kemi 34 had prepared 200 cocaine pellets, 2.20 kg to ingest before their flight. Now, the statement read, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, have raided Emirate Hotel Ladipo area of Oshodi, Lagos State, where some intending pilgrims to the ongoing Hajj in Saudi Arabia were lodged and caught in the act of ingesting wraps of cocaine ahead of their flights to the Holy Land on Wednesday, June 5, 2024. And as you can see there, a man and a woman, those arrested during the intelligence-led operation include Usman Kamaruddin, 31, Olasukami Owolabi, 46, Fatai Yekini, and 38, and a lady, Ayinla Kemi, 34. As you can see her there, the 4 suspects were lodged in 2 rooms in the hotel where they had prepared 200 pellets of cocaine weighing 2.20 kg to swallow when NDLEA officers stormed their rooms. Now, 100 wraps of the Class A substance were also recovered from each of the 2 rooms, bringing the total seizure to 200 wraps. 2 suspects were to swallow 100 wraps, each of them. Now, I don't know if you really listen to the stories. These are people going to a holy land. They are using that avenue and that opportunity to ingest. Can you imagine that? How did they get this this audacity? How? And you know, you're trying to combine 2 things at the same time. You are going for a prayer. I think Hajj and pilgrimage is for prayers.
Sure.
And there's a holy land. Now, it is that they now use that avenue to try to inject some cocaine, some substance into their body for them to use it there. That means not everyone going to that place is really prepared to go and pray. You understand? So I don't know how. What can you do? What can you say? How can you assess the operations of the NDLEA in this regard, in this place?
Well, for me, I think they must have acted following a credible information that they got, because the fact that they went into raiding the hotels, which means there was an informant that possibly the hotel suspected that something of such nature was going on, and then gave them a timely information. So I commend those who gave the information. I also commend the officers of NDLEA for acting promptly to arrest that menace, because it is very, very wrong. Anybody who is going for religious reasons should at least put the religion, the God behind such religion first. How can you come and make the God you are serving, call it Allah, call it Jesus Christ, call it Muhammad, call it Jehovah, but for any name at all you call it, this is a sacred being, the creator of all beings, and you are going for a program specifically in the name of the same creator, and you are carrying things capable of trying to tarnish the image of the organization or of the religion that you profess. So I think the NDLEA officers should always try to step up their action, so that if this particular incident that happened will make them to always subject any Hajj pilgrims or Christian pilgrims to all this kind of drug tests before they finally board their flight. It shouldn't just be like maybe you go to raid their hotel. This particular incident is an eye-opener to the fact that other people may have succeeded traveling but after ingesting themselves with hard drugs. Do you understand me?
Yes.
Before this particular one was leaked. If it were not for the raid, which means they would have succeeded ingesting themselves with such drugs and then go over there, make their millions and come back. People will be calling them Alhaji because he has gone to Mecca. You don't know that he didn't even go to Mecca for Mecca purposes. He went there for business purposes. So I'm recommending I am like advising NDLA that going forward, any form of national sponsorship of Christian pilgrimage or Islamic or Muslim pilgrimage, let there be always drug tests carried out on them, because all of them may not always lodge in a known hotel. Some of them may even decide to go to private accommodation, private rooms or compounds to live, since a hotel makes them vulnerable. So, but a test, let it be like, is a condition before you can board the international flight to take off, that you must be subjected to drug tests before you go. So if possible, everyone must come to the airport an hour before your boarding time, so that the process of carrying out these tests and checks will be concluded before the boarding time. So that's what I think.
All right. You mentioned the drug testing.
Yes.
Now, imagine before takeoff, all of the Hajj pilgrimage candidates are gathered around and want to be drug tested. If you are a part of those people, would you feel offended? Knowing that, oh, you're not carrying drugs, you're not a drug courier, would you feel offended?
Okay, let me ask you this. I'll answer with a question.
Okay.
When policemen are conducting checks on the road and they stop every vehicle, the intention of the checks might be maybe to unravel whether there is a stolen vehicle or there is somebody carrying something illegal. Have you ever passed any road where police were conducting check?
Yes,
for sure.
Of course.
And they checked your vehicle and you passed? Did you feel offended?
No.
The same way, nobody should feel offended, because it's part of the condition, it's part of the rules that if they are adopted, are going forward before you travel for pilgrimage, Christian pilgrim or Islamic pilgrim, that you have to undergo drug testing.
Exactly, because it should be like a prerequisite. It should be like a lay down rules. So no one should hear now
should feel offended.
But some persons will always have that entitlement mentality. When they said, "Oh, we are going to worship God," so why you? Probably the innocent ones, those who don't have that natural propensity.
I want to ask a question.
Okay.
During the era of COVID, was there any Nigerian that traveled out of this country, or even a white man that came, that was not subjected to
test.
COVID test?
Of course.
That was very different.
How is it different?
No, but what we're trying to say, like you now, you were trying to suggest, because that's why we are here, you're trying to suggest that if anyone is making such a travel, be it in Jerusalem, be it in anything for us, whether it's worship, whatever it is, they have to be subjected to a drug test.
To a drug test.
Because if they are filling the form, remember, before they will go, they will put up a form and say, this is where we are heading to.
Yes.
And now look at the two of them. They were about to swallow 100 rafts, each of them. Now, they will ask them, there should be a question and answers forum, okay? Or telling them that in case if you are meant to travel, you are not supposed to be involved in any kind of criminal activities or any nefarious act, that if you are being caught, you'll be punished severely. So you are suggesting like let it be a law, right?
Yes.
Let it be a law.
Yes.
A law should be enacted that those who are going should face drug tests.
Yes.
Because not everyone saying that they want to go for, they are going for pilgrimage, they are
actually going for it.
No. Most of them are just trying to disguise themselves.
Exactly. And in case you don't know, there is no law that was not made to address either some particular purpose or a specific purpose.
Yeah.
Do you understand me? So laws are a creation to address a need. Now that we have seen that some criminals can actually disguise or under the guise of traveling for religious pilgrimage and them carry drugs, ingest themselves and travel out there to make illegal money. Do you know what that will mean? That maybe they get to any international airport and perhaps the timing of the drug and all that, the thing explode and they die there. Do you know what bad name it will give to Nigeria?
Exactly.
It will further show how porous, the porosity of Nigerian security, that a passenger boarded from Nigeria will come there, will succeed, escape all the security checks, only to come there. Maybe the drug was supposed to last for say 10 hours. Maybe for delay or air was, I mean, the atmosphere was not okay. That they suffered delay that they couldn't arrive for the drugs to be evacuated. Maybe the person happens to die following the explosion or overstay of the drug. It will further damage the name of the country. So I think there should be a law that will empower NDLA to subject every passenger for this purpose or any other purpose connected to national sponsorship to drug testing before they go.
Oh, okay. Now we have to. I believe that they are watching, and this is Press Roundtable, where it affords all of us the opportunity, for those in the media, journalists, opportunity, public affairs analysts, to talk to the government, to talk to the citizens on how to better the economy. You know, okay. Now we want to take another story coming from the National Assembly.
All right, Deputy Senate President Barrow rejects Ranches Commission bill, says bill targeted at relocating Fulani herders to their state of origin. Deputy President of the Senate, Jibrin Barrow, on Wednesday strongly opposed the bill for an act to establish the National Animal Husbandry and Ranches Commission, which was sponsored by Senator Titus Tatenga from Benue State. Barrow said the bill, if allowed and passed into law, was targeted at relocating Fulani herders wherever they are to their various states of origin, which will be absolutely difficult as they may not know where they came from. The concerned lawmaker maintained that the bill was in breach of the Constitution of Nigeria 1999 as amended, particularly in regards to choice of residence, insisting that nobody should be denied where they choose to live. Barrow stoked heated debate as he expressed rejection, but was the lone voice as other senators who contributed to the bill welcomed the development. According to him, he benefited from living in a place that was not his place of origin. Hence, Fulani herders in any part of the country should be allowed to live wherever they choose to. He said, "There is a snag in this bill. There's a problem because you cannot stop many Nigerians from living in any area that he so wishes. The relevant section of the Constitution has been read. I saw something just a few days ago. Senator Natasha visited Fulani settlement in a senatorial zone. Those people do not have any home except that place. They have been there for so long. They have been part and parcel of that society. Now to tell them to move to their state of origin, where is their state of origin? Now, for us as political leaders, I would like you to look at that. Who is the current senator of FCT? She is a Yoruba native, but she has won the election here. Nobody told her to return to her state. I won my first election in Taroni Federal Constituency of the House of Representatives in 1999 from Kano Central, but I am from Kano North. Nobody told me to go back to Kano North, so why do we now tell herders to go back to their states of origin? My friend, Zam, understand this. Understand that this is not in consonance with our constitution. Your bill is good. I like this bill, but this aspect should be removed. We should remove it. I advise my friend, Senator Zam, to clamp this bill down for consultation, for better drafting, so that it goes in consonance with our constitution. Advertisements, Mr. President, I will tell you some of these Fulanis, if you ask them where their state of origin is, they have even forgotten. They look at themselves as Nigerians. We should address the issue to reflect wherever someone is. It's his place, and he can do his business there. So, Mr. President, I advise this bill to be stepped down or further consultation. By our spirited efforts to shut down the bill failed, as majority of the lawmakers okayed the bill when Senate President Goswe Akpabio put it to voice vote. The bill, having passed second reading, was committed to the relevant committee for public hearing. Now, you do look at the story.
Very well.
Yes. So they are passing a bill, or they're in the process of passing a bill for Fulani herders to be sent back to their state of origin. Now, this senator said, if you ask most of these herders, they don't even remember their state of origin because they've been in this particular settlement for a really long time. So asking them to leave is like, it's impossible. What do you make of this situation?
I don't think the bill is asking Fulanis to go back to their state of origin.
Okay.
That's not the bill. Okay. From what I read there, the bill is trying to create ranches. Are you saying that all Fulanis are involved in cattle rearing? All of them are not involved in cattle rearing. If they were all alike involved in cattle rearing, then what would Barrow be doing? He shouldn't be a senator. What the bill is saying is any Fulani, anybody, whether Fulanis whose predominant occupation is cattle rearing, if you know this is your business, the government is creating a ranch or creating ranches where you will be there in your state of origin to carry out that your business. Do you understand me? That is what the bill is talking about. If as a Fulani man you are not into cattle rearing, you don't have any business going back to your state of origin. So any Fulani man who knows that he's a Nigerian and the government has provided a place in his home state to go and carry out his cattle rearing, why, that should be a plus. In fact, they should commend the Nigerian government for coming up with such a bold bill. And for the Deputy Senate President who is arguing over this, I think I smell a rat. Okay. I smell a rat in the sense that it goes further to show that perhaps the porosity of Nigerian borders has given opportunity for non-Nigerians to always find themselves in Nigeria under the guise of their Fulanis from the northern part of Nigeria. I can't believe that any Nigerian wouldn't know the state he's from just because he has lived in such a place for 100 years. For crying out loud, there are Nigerians in the US who were not even born here in Nigeria. They were born in the US. But as many, despite how many years they have stayed over there, they still know that, some of them still know that they are from Rivers State. Some still know that they are from Abia State. They still know their respective states of origin. So for anybody to make argument that if you ask Fulanis now, which state are they from, that they have forgotten? What? How can somebody say a human being, an adult, have forgotten his state of origin because he's in another state carrying out the business of cattle rearing? So Nigerian government should look into the reaction of the Deputy Senate President to begin to investigate whether all the Fulanis who are doing cattle rearing in Nigeria, they are actually Nigerians, yes, exactly, or they are just foreigners who came from perhaps Niger Republic and mixed up with their Fulani counterpart in Nigeria and begin to claim Nigerian citizenship. So that is what I think. There is nothing there is nothing wrong with that bill. In fact, the Fulanis and every Nigerian to commend the Senate. This is a bold step because what the Fulanis are doing already constituting threats to several persons. We have had cases where people from the southern part of Nigeria were slaughtered by Fulani herdsmen, which they call them herdsmen. Do you understand me? These are cattle rearers. Some of the farmers complain that their cattle were damaged their crops and all of that. Maybe as a way of telling them, don't rear your cattle here again. Before you know it will go into full-blown crisis, which will lead to slaughtering women in the bush. And the 10th National Assembly is coming up with a legislation that will stop that menace. Instead of somebody who has risen to the height of a deputy senate president to commend such move, he's kicking against such move, so that the herdsmen will continue to kill innocent farmers in their own farm.
And you remember, this is highly concentrated in the Fulanis.
Yes.
When you talk about the headers, if you look at the farms, some farms, you see them there. You know, some of them, they will come with their cattle, and if you speak, they will strike you down. It's happening in so many states where you have bushes and all of that. So I think the bill is to regulate the movement of these Fulanis. Right?
Very much.
Exactly.
I am very much in support. In fact, if there be, for me, the 10th National Assembly has not achieved anything since inception.
All right.
This is the first achievement when this bill gets third reading and passed into law. This will mark their first achievement. Okay. In my assessment, they have all been docile and joking and playing and eating our money and undermining the plight of Nigerians. But this particular bill addresses the problem and threats of common people, common farmers. Even in my own village, these headers are threats to farmers, as well as villages in other neighboring states with rivers, such as Delta State, such as Abia, such as Imo, and all of that. They have been threats. So this particular bill will address that threat
All right.
when fully signed into law.
Okay, so if this bill is fully signed into law, like you said, and the herders have been asked to go back to these ranches that the government is going to establish for them in their state of origin,
yes,
and they do not want to go to their state of origin, do you think they should be forced? Because, like the senator pointed out, that as citizens of Nigeria, you have the rights to choose a residency in any state.
Now let me tell you, those herders are not the owners of those cows. Are you getting me?
Okay.
There are top, prominent, wealthy alhajis that own those.
So they are working for them.
You understand me? So if the herders say they don't want to go, there is no problem. They can remain at where they are if the community where they gave them the place to settle is okay with them. But those cows have to be transported back to the state where those alhajis who own them are, and the alhaji will show the government. If, for example, it's happening here in Rivers State, the federal government has to sponsor the evacuation of such cow if the alhaji refuse to. And if the federal government refuse to sponsor it, the state government has right to seize all those things, because it's a product of disobedience or violation of laws of Federal Republic of Nigeria. Do you understand me? So basically what I'm saying is that you don't need to be worried whether those herders will accept to go back. What is important is that if they want to stay, they are free to stay, but they can no longer be rearing their cow here. Maybe they will choose another business, like they'll be selling kiosks or mending shoes or do any other business as they can do, but no longer that of rearing cow here. The alhaji who owns it will come and take over his cow and send it to any of the northern states where is his own state of origin.
Right. Do you have anything to add to that?
Well, I'm not just I'm just trying to reason out of the matter. They are really trying. I think it's really, I would just say, welcome development, because they want a regulation when it comes to these headers and the Fulani activities and all of that. But my question, as I was thinking about it, is that they have this enthusiasm of working, of trying to make sure that they put up the bills together when it comes to, you know, when it comes to, let's just say these headers and other ones. But hey, why is it that they are not taking any measures at all to settle this matter of minimum wage? I just want to link it together.
Why is it that?
Are you getting my point? Now, see, there is this enthusiasm for them to pass the bill, regulate ranches, you know, and other bills. But why is it that they were not trying to do same when it comes to minimum wage? And look at, you know, we know we are coming out from strike. why is it that they are not really paying attention? There have been negotiation upon negotiation, there have been talks upon talks, and all of that. Now, this enthusiasm that they are passing this bill, why is it that they did not put it into the minimum wage? That is actually what I'm trying to say.
Well, if you ask me, like I said earlier, the issue of this bill is even coming late.
Okay.
Okay,
it should have been on before.
It should have been handled. Recall when the former governor of Rivers State, the minister of the FCC, current minister of the FCC was here. There was a time this issue of activities of headers and all that was a very serious concern. To the extent the governor was raising some executive bills. The governor was trying to raise some executive orders to address these particular issues of the activities, the nefarious activities of Fulani herdsmen in some parts of Rivers State. So I think that this particular passage of the bill is very much is even delayed, and nobody should try to blame the government for any hurry. They didn't even hurry. Perhaps it's coming now because maybe the former president was a Northerner and of course a Fulani, and wouldn't have been there to see this kind of bill passed because he feel to target his people. Do you understand me? But now that a Fulani man is not there, there is no how he can be hindered again. Imagine if somebody like Deputy Senate President Barrow was the president of Nigeria, which means this kind of bill can never see the light of the day. You understand? So it's also possible that former President Muhammadu Buhari also hindered the passage of this bill as early as it would have been passed. So the issue of minimum wage, if you ask me, I'm even saying minimum wage is not a problem of Nigerians. Okay. How many Nigerians are civil servants? Even if I say, okay, how many households in Nigeria that their parents are civil servants? What is the population of civil servants? What is the population of Nigerians? So all this minimum wage stuff is not really what is going to address the concerns of Nigerians. I'm not saying that they should not make increase in this in the demands of NLC and TUC or whichever union that they are making demands, but that is not the problem of Nigeria. We are talking our demands. Part of our demands, I'm a Nigerian, and I'm saying that Nigerians are suffering, that this government has inflicted unbearable pains, hardship on us, following the sudden and unplanned removal of subsidy, following the increase of in food prices, transportation, and everything. Nigerians are going through hell. So this Nigerian government should be able to come up with such measures that possibly suspend the removal of subsidy. Though there are reports in some quarters that subsidy payment is still ongoing. I don't even know how it's happening. Nigerian naira is almost a useless money. You can't use 1,000 naira to eat a plate of food. You can't. You can't even use 1,000 naira to say, okay, you can proudly journey from here to Eleme Junction and come back with 1,000 naira. It's not possible
anymore.
Only movement within Port Harcourt City, you'll be spending thousands of naira. If you say, oh, you want to book boat, you have looked for trouble. Do you understand? So, honestly, Nigerian naira has lost value, and it is in the place of our government to look into why. There are reports that naira was have been devalued 3 times within this last span of this administration, either 3 times or 2 times. First in June last year, whereas the government, this new government, took over in May 29th. June, they devalued the naira. Again, early this year January, there is a report that alleged that they also devalued the naira again. And we are seeing the fact that indeed our naira has lost value. And what is the place of government? So if you ask me, what even if they are paying labor, they agree to pay labor, each person 150,000 naira minimum wage, how will that address the problem and the sufferings of the masses? Will labor civil servant begin to share money to anybody whom they see buying something? Okay, I'm a civil servant because they are paying me 100,000. Oh, yeah, take this one, add. it will still not be able to address our problem. So if you ask me, labor is just a selfish organization. They have nothing to offer to ameliorate the sufferings of Nigerians. What would have even helped to address the sufferings of Nigeria is such protests like it happened, that NSAS protest. Do you understand me? There should be such protests to be able to drive homes on demands. When such protest was held, you saw that quickly SARS was immediately scrapped. There should be such protests that will be able to address these issues, not that of labor and TUC. They are just charlatanic in nature. They are just selfish. They are not speaking for Nigerians. They are speaking for their salary. Just that.
Okay, I just believe at this point that this is just your personal opinion, you know, that just for their personal interest. I believe a reasonable number of persons in Nigeria are civil servants, and an injury to one is an injury to all. I believe that's why they are speaking up. So why I try to relate this issue is that now the Senate, there is an enthusiasm coming from them to pass a bill on ranches, local. Even the other time, remember we talked about the old national anthem. So, but we want them to channel this energy, and also in other things that matters in the society, because this is majority of the people speaking. So I believe that you, comrade, thank God, you belong to a minority group who says this is, but who says that this is not really for the interests of all the citizens, but it's just for a particular set of people. But I just want to tell you, the NSAS, you know, NSAS took lives. There were injuries. But if we think, like Aisha Yusuf is an activist who says that they really didn't do anything, that they really didn't put much effort in trying to achieve the aim of the protest. That how will you just put off the national grid and the next day you're putting it on? That the protest was not really enough. But I believe
protest by which people?
No, that the strike rather. The strike.
It's also a protest.
It's also somehow a quiet protest, because when you have to register your anger and say,
I want to ask you, putting off the national grid. Are they targeting the government or the elite class?
Not really the government.
Putting up the national grid. See, you need to understand that the elite class is the wealthy class. Is the bourgeois class. Okay, do you understand me? The bourgeois class, they have lot of generator, both at home, at the office. They can even afford a trailer load of diesel, and the light will never go off their house. Tell me truth. In your neighborhood during the few days of total shutdown, were you not seeing people who can't charge their phones? Were you not seeing people suffering and lamenting? Did you see any elite, whether they stayed in darkness? The elite class are comfortable. But, I'm even saying labor is insensitive.
There's no way, no. There's no way that labor, let me just say, you put off the whole national grid and it didn't affect them. Yeah, because of this removal of subsidy, I think it told on all Nigerians. Everyone felt the pain, because for you to get a liter of fuel for how much? Some persons are saying 700, 800, 600 and all of that. Very soon we're praying, let this thing not escalate, let it not take us to 1,000 naira. Who will afford it? I think they will also feel the pain, because it's going to stagnate businesses. So a lot of things crumble within that hours.
Please
but
tell me how it affected them. I just explained how it affected the ordinary Nigerian. Tell me where it affected the elite class.
No, we're looking at it that if it has been extended for some time,
just tell me.
Let us say 6 days.
Fine. How will it affect them?
It will. Definitely it will.
Tell me now.
Because they don't produce what they use 100%.
Okay.
They will also go out to make purchases, and it's also going to affect them. Even if it did not affect them directly, it will also affect them indirectly. But
before it affects them, you are dead and buried.
Let's not take it too far.
Seriously, before it will affect the elite class,
yes,
the ordinary man would have been in the mortuary or would have been buried.
Well, anyway, we are just praying. we are just trying to pray. We're praying so that it will not get to that extent.
What I'm saying is that there is that particular line of action of shutting down national grid.
We just mentioned that. We just try to mention that, you understand? Because, you know, I'm trying to relate this issue of having the zeal to approve a bill, work on a bill, and instead of some president, this is also because it has to do with banditry, it has to do with terrorism, it has to do with regulating the movement of these Fulani headers, telling them how to live, because sometimes it's like they act like deaf and dumb, and they are all armed, ready to kill, ready to fight. So I believe that the bill is okay, but I'm also trying to encourage the government, the Senate, the senators, and the National Assembly, let them also look into the minimum wage, because we wouldn't want this to really linger for a long time. Well, before we go into Niger State, I want us to observe a little break right now. When we come back, we're going to take the rest of the story. Stay tuned.
They vote for government, but we not get good governance at all. Roads so no day, light outside, the infrastructure we can't turn to be forbidden fruit for the city.
Corruption, well everything. Hello?
Hello, madam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mrs. Ayeni. I am calling from the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs.
Okay, I've been expecting your call.
Madam, remove this your phone from loudspeaker.
No verse. Now my phone be like that. Hello?
Are you there?
I hear, I'm hearing you.
Yes. We saw a copy of your invoice for computers, printers, and laptops.
Yes. Are you working on them now?
Ma, the prices you quoted are way too high now.
Madam, sorry, please don't cost.
We found the laptop you said is 1.8 million naira for 600,000 naira.
Hello?
Now my body network there.
I can't hear you. Network is bad.
Madam, we can hear you. Continue.
Hello, I can't hear you.
All right, it's still on Press Roundtable. We're glad to have you back on the program. Press Roundtable on Atlantic Television Network, in case you're just tuning in right now. Okay, we want to move over to the stories coming from Niger State. Meanwhile, I just want to thank my colleague, Susan Abe, for being part of the show. And very soon, like at 9 o'clock, she'll be stepping into the newsroom for Globe at 9. All right, now let's look at the stories coming from Niger State. For residents of Niger State have drowned while fleeing from bandit attack in Gomana community of Shiroro local government area. Residents of the community usually take a canoe to an island in the area to hide from the attack of bandits who have made the local government a haven for carrying out their activities. The media learned that the incident occurred on Thursday after the resident who had fled to the island on Wednesday to hide were returning home on Thursday when the boat capsized. The bandits were said to have killed 3 persons during the Wednesday night attack, rustled cattle and abducted scores in Basania, Gumana. When the media contacted the spokesman of the Niger State Police Command, Wasiu Abiodun, on Thursday, he requested our correspondent to send him an SMS. After the inquiry was sent to the PRO both on WhatsApp and SMS, he has yet to respond as at the time of filing this report. We're still talking about the bandits. And if you look at the stories coming from Niger State, you've seen that residents fleeing from bandit attack. They got drowned on their way while fleeing. We're also talking about this banditry. Like the first one, the last one we talked about the bill, about the Fulani, the herders. Many of them are involved in banditry. Many of them are involved in this, and look at what is actually happening in that place right now in an attempt for them to flee from these bandits who have also taken over their community, killed them, rustled some of their cattle, and inflicted injuries in the communities while they are trying to get safe in neighboring community. Now they got drowned. What's your take on this?
Well, I think these Fulani herdsmen, they are products of these bandits.
Okay. Yeah.
Seriously. Because you can agree with me that during this rearing of cow and all of that, a good number of them have gotten used to, have known the routes in different forests and different areas, even as much as the native, the indigenes of such areas. So one of the things this bill, when passed into law, will be able to address is to seize the freedom of movement of the likes of Fulani looking herdsmen, or sorry, Fulani looking bandits. Because if somebody is not carrying AK, maybe they hid their gun somewhere and dressed like a Fulani, you see the person in your farm, you will say, oh, it's a Fulani man that is those of them in charge of cow. But when it has become a history that they are no longer within a particular area, so if you see anybody dressed in that attire, you will have a cause to raise alarm. But why you can't raise any alarm when you see anybody dressed in that attire within your farm area in the forest? You can't raise alarm because you feel that, oh, it might be a Fulani man, or maybe they are carrying cow, their cow may be far, maybe he's looking for where he will fetch water or something like that. So that's why I earlier commended those who initiated this bill, Senator Zhang, for coming up with such a bill. These Fulani herdsmen, their activities have become something else, and there is no how government can be able to stop banditry without actually trying to say, if you know you're a Fulani head, you are a cattle herder, please be at a particular location, go to a ranch so that we'll find you there. Any person found outside that place will be treated as a bandit accordingly. So I think these are what that bill will be able to handle. Look at how innocent persons just died because someone is trying to show strength that is addicted to killing, that is used to the forest and all of that. So seriously, the government should also try to see how they can actually stamp off these so-called herders. I don't know why every bad thing is fast becoming a culture in Nigeria. Boko Haram is there. From there, we are having bandits. From this one, we are having increase in corruption. From that one, we are having inflicting endless pain on Nigerians. Almost every bad thing is fast becoming the culture, the way of life of the people of Nigeria and Nigerian government. So how long do we continue like this? So I want to categorically say that the government should not always stop at issuing statement to commensurate with families who lost their life following this or that incident. They should be able to trace these criminals and get rid of them. Every day Nigerian government is recruiting people in military, police and all of that. They are buying arms and spending huge in security. Yet security threats and vulnerability keep growing in the country. I really don't know whether there were rumors that the northerners who are on seat, they are the one compromising security. They don't want to attack their people who are these herdsmen. They don't want to give a decisive order to deal with them ruthlessly. Will anybody still say a northerner is still the one on seat? When Goodluck Jonathan was there, they say he was not powerful enough to be able to. He was guarded around by forces that he cannot resist and all of that. So what is still happening? Every day, every regime, we keep hearing one flimsy excuse or the other. I think the government is right time that will show our strength as a nation. We prove that we're a sovereign nation. We'll test. The result of government is being tested. Let them come up with a force that makes it a government.
And another thing I want to add is that if they are trying to look at this issue of banditry, they also need to look at their sponsors, because most of them wouldn't have carried it out without having someone sponsoring them. So I think that's the area I want to suggest that they have to look into the matter. Who are those people behind us? Who are those people supporting them? Where do they get their weapons? Where do they get, who is giving them this morals to do all these things? So let them start from there. I want them to intensify their efforts in tackling this issue of insecurity in the country.
Well, if you say getting their sponsor is very, very difficult.
Some of them, last time they were able to fish few of them out. Yes, now, the organization, the individuals who were linked to sponsoring terrorism in the country, some of them have been, that's what is going on in the country. I can tell you that for free. They are really fishing them out. So if they intensify effort, I will tell you that these will be reduced to the barest minimum. There is no, someone is running away, and where you are running away, that's where you get that. Perhaps if the person is not running away, they wouldn't have died. Their boat wouldn't have capsized. But because they have this culture of trying to secure their lives, because of the banditry, and I believe it's highly concentrated in the north. So they need to do something about it. But that's what you can go for now.
For now?
Yes, that's what you can go for today.
No problem.
Do you have a last word?
Well, my last word is just please, Nigerian government should please rise to the occasion. I hate to hear that innocent persons have been killed or lost their lives. Honestly, it pleases me when I hear that a criminal died as a result of his crime and all of that. So Nigerian government should step up and then let us have a better Nigeria.
All right, we pray, we crave for a better Nigeria. We want the government to really intensify effort in fishing out these people who perpetrate evils in the society. Well, that's the much we can take for today on Press Roundtable on Atlantic Television Network. You can stay connected on 18 socials. We are there on Facebook, on YouTube, on Atlantic Television Network. You can join us there. But do remember that at 9 o'clock, we shall be coming up with the global news at 9. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. I want to thank you so very much for coming on the show. Comrade, thank God, Nyeche, Chimene Nyeche. Thank you so very much. You've been wonderful on this program.
Thank you.
I just want to thank you. I want to thank my colleague, Susan Abbey. My name is Angelic Angel. Thank you so very much. Remember to join us at the Global News at 9 p.m. Good evening.